Hello and welcome to the Social Recruiting Show. I'm Katrina Collier. I am author of the Robot Proof Recruiter, which I do like to show every show. And I am also a candidate engagement speaker and facilitator. Sorry, clearly Glenn finds that quite funny. I'm of course joined by my gorgeous co-host. Oh, it's coming from everywhere. Gorgeous co-host, Ben Martin, who is a talented talent acquisition person or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Something. We don't really know what Glenn does, but he has great beard and hair. I am super excited to have a fellow Australian on the show. I know I don't sound Australian anymore. Mr. Mark Mansour, who is also a talented talent acquisition professional, but he's like a global one. And yeah, he's coming all the way from Australia just to talk to us. So you're up way, way past your bedtime as well. So thank you so much for joining us.
Mr. Thanks for joining us, Mark.
No, it's an absolute pleasure to be on, mate. Honestly, it's dinky die, great, yeah, mate. Good. Are you gonna put subtitles on this, or
that sounded proper Australian?
Yeah, good, mate. Good, great to be on here, sourcing and talking recruitment, and yeah, all good. She'll be right, you know. All right, it is an absolute pleasure to be on this wonderful show again.
Yeah, well, you're actually cool, you're in the Robot Proof Recruiter as well. Definitely.
I've got to say, I'm halfway through, which is great.
Only halfway?
Yeah, I only started reading it 3 days ago, so it's good. But I got to say, I love that you sent me a copy, and I love your words.
Oh, you're in there. You're in there. It had to be done. So how did you end up in recruitment down there?
Yeah. Well, you know, one day I was walking down the road. Honestly, this is going to sound really random, but I got into door-to-door sales. And so should have gone to uni and studied law because that was what parents were pushing. And I'm like, nah, you don't tell me what to do. I was a big IT growing up. And said, no, I'm not going to go study. I got a job working in hospitality. And then from hospitality, I got a job doing door-to-door sales. And door-to-door sales, $0 base salary, commission only. They sell you the dream. And apparently I was very good at that.
So what were you selling door-to-door?
Optus, cable, internet, cable TV, and home phone.
Optus cable! Having a trip down memory lane. Like a Sky Cable, but worse.
I need to Google some of this stuff, don't I, as we go through the show? I'm just
Optus is a telecom company. It's like Sky Cable here. So
okay, cool.
Cable TV, yeah. I mean, but back in the day, we're not talking about recently.
Oh, no. It's all changed. They've destroyed the whole technology landscape here from a telco perspective. But anyway.
So who offered you your first chance in recruitment? How did you get?
Well, so I was good at doing door-to-door sales. I got headhunted by a rival company and they said, yeah, cool, we want you to come over and hire mini Marks, right? And I've gone, cool. Okay, what do you mean? What's my role going to be? Oh, you're going to be the recruitment manager. And I've gone, WTF is recruitment. And I'm like, oh, all right. So that was literally my comment. What the is recruitment? And can we swear on the show?
Did they give you training?
No. It was a school of Google.
Can you swear on this show? It is going out on LinkedIn Live, so it's really up to you how you'd like to be represented on LinkedIn.
Yeah, see, I'm all right.
I know it's really hard. Look, Australians have potty mouth. You might want to put a headset in. Yeah, it's very hard for us not to swear. We just swear, don't we? It's like
it just comes naturally, but I think a lot of people freak out and they go, "Oh, well, you're swearing. You're so, you're dodgy."
It's a cultural thing. We just do. We have potty mouths.
I love that video. The uses of the word beep. I love it. That's one of my favorite videos to watch.
We'll come back to that later.
No, sorry. But anyway, cool.
So basically you had no training and now you're a global head of talent acquisition with no training, or perhaps you've learned something along the way?
I've tried to learn along the way. I'm fortunate that
most of us don't, do we? Most of us get like no training or a couple of days and that's it, our entire career.
Well, I've got to say, one of the things that I've learned along the way is that you can always do things better. So I've looked at the people that were mentoring me. So when I went from my first internal recruitment job, that was working, as an Optus reseller, to agency land,
Yeah.
I looked at the guys who were training me up and saw the opportunity to improve and instilled that in myself. So I looked at other people's failings and said, you know what, don't do that. You're not going to do this. This is things you can do better. And continue doing that. So, you know, I was probably one of the first or one of the earliest adopters of LinkedIn in the Aussie market, right?
Yeah.
So jumped on, was killing it from a BD perspective, was utilizing it to source candidates, was engaging with candidates and getting them online, was coaching people how to use LinkedIn.
So what year was that? Like 2006, 7, something like that?
No, that was like 2004, 2005.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was
it exploded when the recession hit. So the whatever you guys call it, something weird.
GFC, GFC.
Recession. 2008 is when it exploded, because that's when everyone appeared on there who hadn't. But I was using it well before as well. It was brilliant.
Yeah,
it's not brilliant.
It was awesome.
Brilliant then. Now it's just full of recruiters.
It was, well, that's it. Now it's just, okay, hi, we're a recruiter. Do you want a job? Do you want a job? Do you want a job? Job. I mean, you've got, 30 people sending someone a message about the same bloody job half the time.
Yeah.
Or you're getting messages like I do going, hi, you're a valued member of my network. And they're in Arkansas selling, cars. I'm like, what? Dude, what? What are you doing?
I got a great one during the week, which was along the lines of, I'm contacting you because you're on our database. This is an American I'm most definitely not on. And because Alison Cruz works at Kforce, so I sent the message on to her because it was from Kforce. And then it basically said, if you don't reply, you're opting in to our marketing. I'm like,
Really?
okay, now I'm pissed. Yeah, I'll reply now. Yeah.
And now you get promoted messages as well into your inbox in LinkedIn. Things that you apparently would be interested in. People's profiles and stuff like that, just pinging in. And I think that kind of links neatly into the subject of today's show, does it not?
Experience. What are we talking about? Pray tell, what are we talking about?
We're talking about what you talk about in the book, actually, which you were talking about how you interview and you're seeking from the people you're looking to hire, who are obviously recruiters, the candidate experience piece. So we were going to talk about like actual, rather than high level, we need candidate experience for this reason, but nitty gritty, like this is day to day how recruiters can do candidate experience. That was your fault about this, Mark. So if you don't like,
I love talking about it. I love talking about this. Actually, the next Sid Rec meetup event that we run is going to be focused on candidate experience.
Actually, just segue. The Sid Rec meetup is run by you and you. Just you? Who runs it?
Myself, Neil, and Dale.
And it's local Sydney recruiters, isn't it? All come together to learn from each other and have drinks.
So it's sort of
right.
Well, yeah. So it's had a few different iterations. So this is of the brainchild of everyone's favourite Troy Hammond, which was his birthday, his 40th last week. So happy birthday, Hammo.
He's such a baby.
Yeah, he is. He's about to change careers into modelling. But we'll see.
I saw that.
So that's going to be our next thing. But we've had a few different iterations, and the whole premise of the rec meetups, you got Sydney, you got Melbourne, you got Welly, you got Auckland. We're trying to get Brizzy off the ground, and Stan runs Perth rec meetup. It's trying to improve ourselves, because I guess the big thing is you can attend conferences, they're good, they get you to a certain point, but it's the informality associated with a general meetup and the lack of a price point that tends to make it a little bit more lucrative or attractive to our peers. But the funny thing is, much like a lot of the events that are run, recruiters aren't really taking the time to go through and invest in themselves or attend them and get the most out of them, which leads to a point that you raised before. Who trained you? How did you get trained up? What did you do? Right? I
had 3 days back in agency land in 2004, and now in 2019, I'm heading a global.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that it's the case.
I resent that. Yeah, I was going to say, come on, no.
Mark is in the book, but he clearly knows what he's doing.
I like to think so. It's not a fake it till you make it anymore. It was at one point in time. But,
honestly, so often that is the case.
But I guess from my end, my whole approach to candidate experience and why it's something that I'm super passionate about is that I've been in those shoes. I've been a candidate. We've all been candidates, right?
Totally.
And I've had some really shitty times in my life where I've been unemployed and been reaching out to my network via all the means that I would tell any candidate who's unemployed, LinkedIn, people that I knew on Facebook, user groups, all that kind of stuff, and didn't get a bite, right? I had a point where I applied for 150 jobs. I was at 150 jobs, and it was horrendous. People not calling. Even I ended up getting a role as a contractor with a business that I applied for a perm role with through an agency. And I said to the manager after I joined, I've gone, why the bloody hell wouldn't you pick up the phone and call me? I said, I sent you a LinkedIn message. You didn't reply. I found your email and I sent you a message with a really lovely jazzed up cover letter. You didn't engage. I said, what more did I have to do? Did I have to go and send smoke signals, or was it a bit too full on, or what? Like, I found your email address when no one else could, and you had a really terrible domain. That should show you my sourcing prowess. And she was like, yeah, I just wasn't sure, I'm like, well, yeah, but you have my details. You're paying a fee now to an agency instead of utilizing me directly. But I've had other opportunities where...
Then that's the prejudging, glanced at you or didn't feel right, and you're just going, pick up the phone and have a conversation. Sometimes in text speak, we don't come across how we are.
Are you trying to rile me up? Are you trying to rile me up and get me? Really? Don't. I know. But that's the thing that a lot of recruiters don't do. They're scared to pick up the phone these days. Pick up the phone. Call them. Stop sending bloody emails. Stop sending emails. Pick up the phone.
But how hard is it? So, Gorgeous Liz Darling just tried to call me and I couldn't answer because it was obviously coming on the show. So I just flicked it to voicemail. But she knows I would have answered if I could have answered. By answering, you're giving permission to talk, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but okay, to counter that, a recruiter sitting there that they've got 120 applications. Have they got the time to go through all of those applications, respond to everybody? Come on. I mean, we've all been there, agency side.
Applications, and we're talking Mark found her direct email and sent her a personal message, not via the application. He did both.
Yeah. So trying to stand out.
I'm playing devil's advocate.
No, but I love this. I've had other instances where I've been at verbal offer with people. I've been told, hey, listen, we're coming back to you. We're just getting our package sorted. We'll be back on the phone with you soon to give you an offer, and then being ghosted. And then
this is my don't ghost me badge. Louise gave me a don't ghost me badge.
Oh, goodness. I should have put this on. I've got my...
Right.
But I've ended up having their sources 3 times, maybe 4 times in the following months. Like pretty much month, get calls going, oh, Mark, we think you'd be actually really good for this role. And I've had LinkedIn messages going, oh my God, your profile's amazing. I'm like, wait, go speak to these 2 people. I've gone through a couple of interviews. I was at verbal offer stage and you guys disappeared, And so that's horrendous. So I guess from my end, when I'm looking at the recruitment experience I'm trying to build for a business, I'm saying, let's put the experience of those people first. Let's build that process with empathy in mind, right? Let's try and get back to candidates quickly. So Glenn, to your point, 120 CVs. All right, so let's break that down. How long does it take to review a CV? Average recruiter looking at a CV.
Minute.
Depends on their experience level. To be fair, Mark. I mean,
cool.
they might take it. They might take a bit of time. 120. That could be a morning's worth of work for somebody.
Glenn's lying. It takes a minute.
Glenn's like that's an hour.
It's exactly like this. You open it, you read the first name, and you go straight to the last experience. Have they got in their last experience what we're recruiting for? It's as simple as that. Everything in between doesn't matter. But straight there.
Yeah, listen,
then you read the rest if they capture you there. Give me a break. Fleck.
It's basically like, do they have are they at the right level? If you, again, it depends on how you built your process out. But for me, I've always had, a couple of details that I want to get: working rights, citizenship, that kind of stuff, which it's your due diligence. Due diligence. Right?
It is late in Australia.
And then you're looking at, so we can still ask for salaries here, but I try to ask for ranges. I never want to say to someone, oh, you've said 100K, that's all you're getting. It's no, give us a range. Because if you're talking, all right, your top end's going to be 160 and you want 100, We want to interview you, and based on your skills and experience and ability to answer a series of questions, we'll give you where we feel you are in that range, right? So there's a few different elements, but it's like, all right, is this person the right element? Are they applying for a senior role and they've got a year's worth of experience? Well, if that's the case, let's pipeline them for a more junior role. And so just trying to think a bit more outside of the box, whereas a lot of people are just constricting themselves or restricting themselves to, okay, this is it. I'm just doing this. This is the one role that I'm sourcing for. I'm not going to be recruiting this again. Well, the reality is,
from a recruiter day-to-day point of view, to not do that, what do they need to do? Go and talk to the business more, talk to hiring managers more? I could take it they need a broader understanding of what you're recruiting for rather than that specific role.
Yeah, okay. That's a difference between working in an agency and working for a corporate, right?
Yeah.
You work in an agency, you get your hour to brief with the client, right? If you've got a good relationship, you've caught up with them and you know the team. When you're internal, you've got the opportunity to go and sit with, Mr. Hiring Manager here and go, hello, talk to me. What's happening in this business unit? You can speak to Mr. Team Leader, right? You can go and speak to a bunch of random people who are in the team and understand what it is they look for and what makes them successful. So, you need to leverage that stuff. And I guess that's what should help internal recruiters make a massive difference. Right? Understand what the business wants and then be able to select or articulate that in the messaging in the ads, and then build a robust process to be able to engage with the candidates and articulate what it is that they want, right?
So what do you say to those recruiters who are a little bit scared to leave the office? Like to go and talk.
You in recruitment? Seriously? if sorry.
But you get that. You're like, I don't want to go and talk with the developers. They're really intimidating. I'm a bit scared of them. And I'm like,
why the hell are you in recruitment, right? If our job, so there's many different facets to working in, to being a recruiter. So you got your sources, right? And you've got your front-facing, client-facing recruiters, and then you've got your people with a lot of reporting and managing up, right? Process and maybe strategy. And then you can start talking employer branding and all the other peripheral areas that are still now more marketing focused. And that's where the whole area of talent acquisition is moving towards. And then you've got superstars, which is happening a lot more in the SME front, that have to do a bit of everything or are learning on the fly.
Yeah.
That depends on what you do. But if in any sort of recruitment role, there needs to be that client-facing element. If you can't ask those tough questions of the business, then you're doing yourself and them a disservice. But it's hard as well because the business doesn't make it easy for you to, we're undervalued. Our profession is completely undervalued by the business.
Yeah.
Right? I've said this numerous times.
It's looked at as a cost as opposed to an investment, right? Recruitment is a cost.
All right. So
we're the people that bring in the people, and the people make the company successful, but we will not train the people who bring in the people.
Again, I wrote a blog 5 years ago and I shared it with some of my mentors at the time. And the blog basically said, your CEO is full of shit. They don't care about talent, right? And the rationale behind that was the investment in talent acquisition technology or HR tech as a whole, right? Or the reporting lines. How many TA teams do you see reporting into HR, right? Or reporting into a CFO? That's like talent should report directly into the CEO. The only exception I'd probably cop is maybe marketing. Maybe. I know, maybe.
Loosely.
Yes.
Working
100%.
alongside, maybe.
Yes.
It depends if they want to put out polished PR bull or they're actually quite happy to put out user-generated real stuff.
Yeah, depends on the kind of business you're working for and what you're doing. But in my opinion, it should always report into the CEO, because once you're actually able to sit down and speak to the CEO and say, this is what I'm doing, you've got me as one recruiter working on 40 recs. You want me to directly source those candidates. You want me to go through and actually brand it, go through write complex ads. You want me to do our branding, so sharing content to social media because you don't have a marketing team. You want me to, be responsible for culture as well, creating an onboarding process. How many different facets do you want, right? All of this takes time to go through and look at a CV. So I made a point before, and this is going to be me sounding like a goose, but 2 minutes of CV, 120 CVs, that's a little bit of time there.
You said 2 minutes, I'm like a minute. I'm dreadful.
Yeah, but I'll be nice. But we always inflate the numbers up above to, get the results that we want.
But is that the thing though? If you're going to go to the CEO and you say, you want me to do all of this, you do need to break it down with facts and stats, don't you?
100%. But they don't know.
This much time to do this. It takes this much time to do that, blah, blah, blah. So you can actually say, you're asking me to do a however many hour week, and it's just not possible.
Yeah.
I think they do need.
You don't want us to utilize agencies. You don't want us to partner with agencies, right? Give me some money to spend. You don't want me to have a recruitment system? Yeah. Like I was speaking to someone the other day that had no recruitment system. And they're not going to give you $100. Like, really, you can't, $100 a month, right? Jump on, use Job Adder. Like, it's $99 per person a seat, like a recruiter.
Yeah.
They can't give you that money, so you can actually go through and automate some of your workflow and share information.
Like this, I'm sure I've said this on a previous show. My friend who has like 40 requirements has no budget, but there's 4,000 people in the company and they all have a LinkedIn recruiter seat. And I'm like, go through, run a report, work out who's using it, get rid of all the seats, and then you'll have your budget. Sorry, Banjo's on my table as usual. He's about to sit on my lap. And I'm just going, that's crazy. There's like a whole human being you could hire to help you.
Wait, how many
somebody at
recruiter seats did you say?
LinkedIn has brainwashed 4,000 LinkedIn recruiter seats.
Wow.
Somebody has
4,000 at $8,000 a pop. Like they're about $8,000 a pop. That's a whole like HRIS.
Seriously, somebody has brainwashed them to buy that.
Incredible. Or somebody hasn't actually looked at the strategy. Typically, like say with internal recruitment teams, they set the strategy for the year. They're almost scared to change it, quarter of the way through, halfway through. They're afraid to bin off technology that's not actually working for them. And I think there is a danger, certainly with internals, that they create this candidate experience around the technology they've got, and they think that that's enough. And it's not. It's not even close to being enough. And to your point, Mark, some, kind of recruitment teams, they sit very siloed in terms of, if I fill this role, great, job done. But they don't think, like you said, holistically around, okay, some of these individuals can be really great for this particular role, this particular business area, and then actually go and consult with the hiring managers, say, hey, look, this profile's come through. What do you think? Do you think it's worth a phone screen and that sort of thing? So that kind of consultative approach, I find, if you've done agency and go in-house, actually it's probably a better transition. If you go straight in-house, sometimes I don't think you get that kind of understanding 100%. Of the value of relationships and consulting.
So how about, so you both like in these in-house roles, what give some tips to people for like gaining the time and the attention of the hiring manager? Because really that is part of the candidate experience, isn't it? The no feedback, the, stupid job requirement that actually you can't go recruit for anyway. Like what's your thing you do to get them on side? Brand new hire, never spoken to them before. I imagine you just offered to slap them, Mark, but
hey, we need to do better. Honestly, it's one of my mantras. One of my mantras is we've got to do better. We must be better. We should be better. We can be better, right? Yeah. Like we do better because, all right. So
you come to me. I'm hiring a new role. I've never hired before. I asked you for something stupid. I'd like a purple unicorn with 6 wings, and you're just going, she's ridiculous. How do you get me to understand rather than do better? How do you?
So
I'm putting on the spot.
Again, I want to ask, no. I want to ask multiple questions about it, but sometimes the ridiculous nature of it needs to be shown. So you go, all right, cool. Here we go. Let's jump in. Oh, good. Here we go. Let's jump on. Let's go onto the local job board. Let's jump onto LinkedIn. Let's run a search. All right. So what do you want? Everything in the world. All right, run a search. And you go, great, there's 4 people with those skills, and those 4 people, actually 3 of them work for us.
So you take your laptop, and you go plonk your butt down next to them, and you run some searches and show them that they're a bit silly.
Yes, right? I like to just show.
Yeah.
100%. Here you go. This is it. Is there someone else you know? Like you can ask those questions, right? You can start going through the referral route, but who else do you know that's doing this kind of stuff? It's doing similar work to us. Right? Because you, as a recruiter, if you've been in a business or if it's the first time, you should know who's got a similar tech stack to yourself, right? So you should know, here's a list of 20 companies where we can hire from. But when people ask for the purple unicorn, right? Hold on. Why is this different? Why is it? Have we done a skills gap analysis in our team?
Yep.
Have we gone through and looked at the 10 people that currently work for us and say, are they all senior? Do we have any juniors? Are they mid-levels? Why do we need a 10 out of 10, right? Why do we need someone who's got 10 years experience? Why can't we get someone who's at the earlier stages of their career and invest in and develop them? And
I'm your hiring manager and you say, like, why can't we? Because I want one. Because I want a 10 out of 10. Why can't I have a 10 out of 10? What are you going to say to me then?
Why do you need one?
What are you going to do with them? I guess as well. Like what role are they going to actually work on? Because I do. I want the best. We're the best.
All right, so articulate for me.
I only recruit the best.
But articulate for me what a 10 out of 10 is. What does that mean to you?
Okay, great. Yeah.
Where's a demonstrable experience, right? How can, it's all in the eye of the beholder. And that's the thing that pisses me off about CVs, and I cannot wait for them to be eradicated, right? Because it's people look. So the thing I say to candidates all the time is your resume is your sales tool. How do you want to be represented, right? And then I say recruiters, a lot of recruiters are very, very stupid, right? So for me as a recruiter who takes the time to understand who you are, right? A lot of, hey, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, right? Yeah. But a lot of recruiters are stupid.
It is.
In my agency days, it was my favorite thing. My favorite thing to say was other recruiters are stupid, right? Because they were.
We're recruiting on somebody's ability to write a CV, right? And if you're not great at English, you can't structure a sentence. Like even if you're English speaking, you're not necessarily good at English, right? You can't structure a sentence that makes sense. You can get missed on the pile. Like all of these
buzzwords. It's a way that
all of the AI is just still recruiting on somebody's ability to write a CV. We haven't got past CVs and profiles. So I agree with you. I don't know whether it's stupidity or there's both sides. Like
it's Boolean logic.
Understand what they've written and understanding the role to actually make the match.
It's Boolean logic is what people are using, right? So regardless of the system, it's still requiring buzzwords. So when I am speaking with someone about revitalizing their resume and making it more attractive, I'm saying to them, all right, so remember a lot of recruiters are stupid and computers are stupid as well.
Keywords.
The buzzwords associated with it. So if you don't have the buzzwords associated with what you do on your CV, guess what? You're not going to be found. So throw it in there. Put it on your LinkedIn profile and you will notice the hits to your profile change straight away. Right? But there's no one. And so we're talking about CVs. What's the universal template for your resume? There isn't one, right? Everyone wants to see something different. I'm working with a buddy of mine at the moment who's a project manager, young Aussie guy, super bloody intelligent. He got made redundant from his last role. And he's applied for 163 roles as a project manager.
And you opened your CV and went,
I looked at his CV and I thought, you know what? It's not a bad CV, but it needs to be improved. Here's what we need to change. And we've gone through and off the back of it, he's got a pretty sexy resume now. He's forwarded that to a recruiter, and the recruiter's gone, oh, no, that's not really good. You actually should do this. And so he's gone through and changed it. I've looked at that form. I've gone, that is shit. That is just so not right. Like I think
the big one, and I think it's the same for recruiters as well when they go out, it's the so what. So Ray Murphy taught me back in the spring days, so what? So really randomly, I'm actually helping my friend project manager with one at the moment. And he was talking about the engineering team was on Agile and the program managers on Waterfall, and I'm going, I don't understand what that means. Like, so what? Oh, well, I had to help them communicate with each other because they're on different methodologies. Okay, well, write that because that's the benefit. You sat and helped them communicate. Like, it's the so what as well. And that doesn't matter how your CV is presented. You've got to make sure the so what's on there.
Yeah. The achievement.
But I also think recruiters should have those on their profiles so they look appealing to companies. You know, like, we look after employees, so what? Like,
I think it's really hard. Candidate experience is a really tough thing.
We're so going to go over half an hour here. I think we should chat for 2 minutes.
Candidate experience is a hard thing to sell, right? Because what's important, right? What comes first? It becomes a chicken and egg situation when you're talking about recruitment, right? What's important? Is it your talent brand, your employer brand? Is it, your workflow? Is it the testing? Is it your system? Is it your interview questions? What is it? Everything is as important as the other, right? Yeah. And no business is going to go out and hire a candidate experience specialist, right? No. They won't do it as a consultant because they're already not investing in the function. So you're hoping that someone has a level of empathy. And this is a tricky thing about going from agency to internal, because a lot of people don't, right? What's the measure of you being successful in your role as an internal recruiter? And 9 times out of 10, it's bums in seats. It's, I've filled these roles in this amount of time with no agency utilization. Oh yeah, I'm a superstar.
Yeah.
And the business goes, who gives a shit? And you go, oh, all right, I've just saved you 200 grand in my first 4 weeks. Can I have some money so I can invest that? Can I use what you would have spent to get me a recruitment system that can make things better? No, sorry. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's what I used to use when I was in house though. I used to tally up, because I was on contract as well. So I used to tally up how much I'd save them and then take off how much I cost and go, that's how much you're saving. So whenever
did they say, oh, that's so great? Or did they go, who gives a shit?
No, they liked it because he had a finance head, the CEO.
I swear to God, every time I've done that, people have gone, and I was working for a business and they had $1 million agency expenditure, and I reduced it down to $60,000, right? And I said, hey, awesome, that's sweet. I've done all this stuff. Yeah, and?
So what were they wanting? Retention rates?
Yeah, good luck trying to get it out of them. It was just, no, we don't.
I was lucky. He had a finance. His whole brain.
You're getting paid to do this job. Bad luck, right? So it gets really tricky, and it's hard. It can be very, very tough, you know. But again, let's go back to the topic of candidate experience, because
but it is
like we're deviating, going into process and stuff.
But to be honest, it's not though, because if you can't actually convince, so you were in a situation where that wasn't convincing enough. I had a CEO who was like, because he's finance head, was like, yay, that's brilliant. Yes, you can have some money for systems that will improve recruitment. So it's a bit of, it is part and parcel.
Yeah, I think it depends on what kind of business you're working for as well, right? I think the SMEs are a little bit more open than enterprise, obviously, because the ability to be a bit more agile in how you do things. But yeah, it's. I just think about some of these larger organizations and how I've heard they run their teams, or the amount of staff that they have. And you hear about the experience that people have. So again, my buddy, 160 plus jobs he's applied for, a lot of them direct to, perm jobs, to a corporate business, and nothing, no reply back saying, okay, hey, we've received your application. No reply back going, we've reviewed your CV and we've declined it. Nothing. And it's like, what the, are you serious?
Yeah, no.
Like, that's surprising as well, right?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't surprise me. Nothing surprises me like that anymore.
Well, I guess it surprises.
Oh, sorry. No, I was going to say, no offense to Australia, but like less so in Europe, you do get replies. So as certainly Glenn knows, I was just in Finland, and I got them to apply. My favorite thing to do, get people to apply to their own jobs. And they did, and they actually got quite good autoresponders. But what I didn't like was it was signed off the talent acquisition team. It's like Katrina posted the job, right? Katrina and her contact numbers. Nobody's going to call. People don't call, but at least make them feel like they could.
I don't disagree.
I think the most powerful
tool. Hey,
go for it, man.
I think that one of the most successful, or one of the best things to do to help you get your candidate experience or your budget for recruitment approved is get your CV to apply for a job, right?
Yeah.
Go through apply for. When was the last time you applied for a job? What happened?
Yeah.
Run them through the whole workflow, right? So they can see, is it good? Is it bad? Right?
Yeah.
Now, at the ATC conference, I stood up on stage and I challenged people to do that. And apparently, based on the survey, 400 people got their CEOs to apply for jobs.
Wow, that's really good.
Impressive. Yeah.
I'm not sure what the outcome has been. I've got to speak with Joe and see, has anything happened in those businesses?
That goes back to a cultural thing, because I've said that here and they're like, oh no, couldn't ask the CEO to do that. In Australia, we just walk right in and go, you'll apply, do it now.
Well, hey, do you want to know why we're not getting candidates? Because what do they say? What do a lot of these what do a lot of these businesses say, especially at the SME space? They'll have their meetings and they'll go, well, we're not getting the people through. We're not getting the right people through. We're not getting candidates through for these jobs. It's like, yeah, well, cool. Let's show you why. This is reason 1, reason 2, reason 3, reason 4. Yeah, go apply for a job. You've done it on your desktop. Sweet. Now do it on your mobile.
Yeah.
So Mark,
I love, by the way,
advice for sorry, advice for companies. 3 things they need to do consistently to at least move the bar up in terms of candidate experience.
Pick up the phone, send an SMS if you can't reach them, right? Have some bloody humility. Think about, everyone needs to put food on the table. Now, yes, as a business, you're not a charity, but you can be human, right? Apply for a job, give people some form of direction. Hey, thank you so much. Acknowledge that you've received their CV, right?
Mm-hmm.
So much for applying for X role. It's a bloody template. It does it automatically, right? Have what your recruitment process is generally on your website.
And some advice. Oh, look, if you don't hear from us, but actually go read this stuff, read what we're talking about here, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Yeah.
If anyone gets, honestly, just, these are 101s. These are just
but they're not.
For a job.
Forget.
Apply for a job. Anyone, as a recruiter, right? There's going to be some movement in the talent acquisition field now. Go apply for a job at any other company other than your own. And look at what they're doing. Look at their careers website. Look at the response you get. If it's better than yours, fix up what you've got. Right? Look for the improvements. Don't be happy with the status quo.
Mark, make sure you read the bit about mobile autoresponders on page 169, by the way. I love it. Convey IQ. With us, you can send like a rich media text and GIFs. And we don't need to be leaving people thinking their CV's gone into a black hole. That's when you use the technology.
Yeah,
so Mark,
you realize that.
You posted. So you posted about a company that had on their website, if you don't hear from us, try again in 6 months. What advice would you give to that company?
Oh, mate, that company's going to go. That company's not going to have anyone joining them anytime soon, right? They're too busy jacking up, right? That was absurd. That was just,
crazy,
I dead set can't believe that. That was ridiculous.
Hang on, are we talking about the same company that actually has that on their job description that you can work from home?
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's so going into the presentation. I have to pick which presentation I'm going in, but yeah.
You should
we're
have
out of time. We're out of time.
Hold on.
I know.
Can you just say don't be a wanker and use that job spec? Oh, geez.
Cool,
are you cutting us out? How long have we gone? Are we at 45 minutes or are we at?
We're done. We have to go.
Really?
No! Don't go back. We'll be right away.
Yeah. Surely we got to give Mark an opportunity to summarise everything that he's been talking about.
Yeah, we've got another half hour, don't we? Geez. Again, the biggest thing I keep saying to people is
empathy.
Show that humility and empathy, right? Get back to people. Put yourself in their shoes. If you're applying for a job, what's the bare minimum you expect? And then think about what more you can do, right? Give information, provide insights. This all comes down to the branding side of things. There's that survey, the report on Virgin in the UK, where they showed a direct correlation between negative candidate experience and customer attrition, right?
Yeah.
Use that. If you're struggling to get any feedback from a manager or from a C-level exec, show them that report. That report should open their eyes, especially if you're in a customer-focused business or product-focused business. You say to them, we will lose people, right? It's going to hurt your brand if people don't get a response, right?
Totally.
So do it now. Go fix the process.
We need a new one of those. It's a bit old. Anyway, we are truly out of time. Thank you for tuning in. It's rather impassioned. We hope you have a headset on Social Recruiting Show. We will, of course, be back next week at exactly the same time. Probably, again, a not safe for work, wear your headset show, of course. But Mr. Mansour, thank you for staying up so late.
Thank you, Mark.
I love you guys. Thank you.
Absolute pleasure, man.
And I can't wait to see you in June next year at ATC. Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
I can't wait to see
you. It'd be great to see you.
You, mate. Glenn, where are you?
I'm at home, man.
Where is home? It's where the heart is. Where's home?
Suffolk. So east of England.
I know exactly where that is. All right, cool.
Yeah, I thought you might, yeah.
We're all working remotely. Gotta love it. We're all at home. Anyway, thank you everyone that has tuned in, and we shall see you at the same time.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you again, Mark.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye.